You open your fridge, and there it is. A little yogurt cup. Looks totally fine. No weird fuzz, no suspicious smell. The lid isn't doing anything dramatic. Then you see the date. Expired yesterday. So what now? Trash it or eat it and accept your fate. Here's the twist. That date usually isn't a "this will poison you" alarm. Most of the time, it's a quality estimate, often a cautious one, and there are different labels that mean totally different things. In the next few minutes, I'll show you when it's actually safe to eat food past the date, which labels you can ignore, and the few cases where you really shouldn't mess around. All right, quick history lesson. Don't worry, this one won't have homework. For most of human history, food didn't come with a date on it. People didn't need a label to tell them milk was bad. If it smelled wrong, you didn't drink it. Simple. But once food started getting packaged, shipped, and sitting on supermarket shelves for weeks, everything changed. A yogurt cup might be made in one state, trucked through 3 others, and opened in a kitchen 1,000 miles away. So companies needed a simple promise printed on the lid. Just a quick signal that says, this should still taste right by this point. And yeah, it also helps them avoid a lot of messy complaints. Because brands don't just sell food, they sell consistency. If you buy that yogurt in New York or Arizona, they want it to feel like the same yogurt. And here's the key detail most people miss. A lot of these dates started as quality markers, not danger warnings. More like, this is when we can guarantee it's at its best, not after this, it turns toxic. That difference matters because it explains why perfectly normal food gets treated like it's radioactive the moment the calendar flips. Next, we need to talk about the labels themselves, because the date you're staring at might not even mean what you think it means. All right, this is where almost everyone gets tricked, because we keep calling all of these the expiration date like there's only one, but most packages are basically using 3 different date languages. If it says best by or best before, that's mainly about quality, taste, texture, freshness. It's the company saying this is when it's at its peak. After that, it might be a little less crunchy, a little less flavorful, a little less impressive, but it's not automatically unsafe. Your cereal doesn't become dangerous just because it's slightly less heroic. Use by is the one you take more seriously, especially for things that can turn risky fast. Fresh meat, seafood, certain dairy, and medicines. With food, the issue is bacteria. With meds, it's potency and stability. After that date, a pill might get weaker, or a liquid medicine can break down in ways you don't want to gamble on. So yeah, use by is closer to a real safety line, even if everything still looks normal. And then there's sell by, which is the funniest one, because it's mostly not for you, it's for the store. It tells employees how long to keep it on the shelf, so it sells while it still looks good. A lot of people see sell by and assume, oh no, that's my deadline. Meanwhile, the label is basically saying, hey grocery store, rotate your stock. So when someone says, it's expired, half the time they're reacting to a quality suggestion or a store instruction, not a real safety warning. And once you know that, the next question is obvious. Okay, so who decides these dates and how do they pick them? So who actually decides that yogurt expires on Tuesday and not Friday? Most of the time, the company does. They test the product under controlled conditions, how it's packaged, how it holds up in the fridge, how the flavor and texture change over time. Then they pick a date where they feel confident it still matches their standards. Notice what that means. A lot of dates are chosen around best quality, not last safe bite on earth. And companies usually play it safe. They'd rather you toss a yogurt one day early than have one person blame them for a bad stomach and start a whole saga online. So the date often has a built-in cushion. This is why shelf-stable foods can feel so confusing. Canned soup, pasta, rice, cereal. Those don't suddenly flip into danger right after the printed date. Over time, quality can drop. Flavor fades, texture changes, fats can go stale. But unsafe is a different story. Frozen food is another good example. If it stays frozen, it can be safe way past the date. What you lose is quality. Freezer burn isn't a villain. It's just disappointing. So if you've ever looked at a can in your pantry like it's a ticking time bomb, yeah, the label kind of trained you to feel that way. Next up, when should you actually care about these dates, and when can you trust your senses instead? So should you ignore dates completely? No, but you also don't need to treat every past date item like it's hazardous waste. Dates matter most with foods that can go bad in a way you can't always see right away. Fresh meat, seafood, deli stuff, and certain dairy. That's where time and temperature can quietly turn into a real risk. If it says use by on something like that, don't get adventurous. When it comes to medicine, don't gamble with the date. After it expires, a drug can lose potency. Antibiotics are a big one. Some meds can also break down in ways you don't want. Liquids and creams are even riskier because contamination becomes a bigger concern over time. So the rule is simple. Don't use expired meds unless it's a real emergency and a doctor or pharmacist tells you what to do. But pantry foods are a different world. Dry pasta, rice, cereal, crackers, canned goods, chocolate, honey, a lot of those are mainly about quality. They might taste a little stale, lose crunch, or smell off from old oils. That's annoying, not automatically dangerous. This is where your senses beat the label, smell it, look at it, check the texture. If something smells sour when it shouldn't, looks slimy, is bulging, fizzing, or growing a surprise ecosystem, yeah, we're done here. Because the date isn't a magic switch. Food doesn't wait for midnight thinking, all right guys, time to become a problem. So here's the takeaway. That little date on the package isn't a magic switch. A lot of the time it's a quality guideline, sometimes it's for the store, and only in certain cases is it a real safety line. If you learn the difference, you save money, waste less food, and you stop doing that thing where you throw something away, then immediately buy the exact same thing again. Your trash can doesn't need a meal plan. Next time you're about to toss something just because the date looks scary, pause for 2 seconds. Check what the label actually says. Use your senses. And save the serious caution for the truly risky stuff, like fresh meat, seafood, and expired meds. If this made you rethink your fridge habits, hit like, subscribe to Simple But Surprising channel, and comment below what's one food you've thrown out just to be safe that you still feel slightly guilty about. I promise you're not alone. See you in the next one.